Hello, everybody. It's the American Doofus Show. I'm your host, Barry Welsh. Don't be a doofus. Was planning on doing this on the laptop, and the laptop crashed about 4 minutes before I was supposed to come on. So I'm doing it from the phone. I'm not sure how this is going to work, how I'm going to be able to respond to chats, if I'm going to be able to see your comments or not, which is something we normally do on a live. First of all, this is not a fashion or beauty or style show. Obviously, my hair was kind of jacked in the last episode, and I didn't think about it before I recorded it. I didn't care about it until somebody messaged me and said, "What's up with the hair?" And I went back and looked at the video. It was all about the message, and I wanted to get it out as soon as possible. I did see somebody say "yo." I wasn't able to see who it was. Cornelius White. Hey, what's up? Toby, how you doing? I'm doing all right. I'm obviously not in front of the flag like I normally am, and that's because I'm out in the living room at this point, with the big screen TV, because the police are currently boxing in protesters in Louisville, and basically they're getting them behind fences, if you will. They've boxed them in to an area, and I'm keeping an eye on it because there has already been a run-in between protesters and three percenters in Louisville earlier this evening. So there are three percenters down there, and these three percenters didn't seem like they were there to protect the crowd. Let's just put it that way. Police have them pretty well boxed in at the moment, and again, I'm just keeping an eye on it because at the start of this march, they said, if you're afraid at all, go home. If you're drunk, go home. If you're on drugs, go home. If you're not ready to give everything to this cause, go home. During the encounter with the three percenters, young black men were walking up and pulling up their shirts as the three percenters had their hands on the trigger of very high-powered semi-automatic, if not adjusted to be automatic. And to these young black men, their name on a wall is their life for this cause is the greatest thing they can give at the moment. And that's such a poignant, I don't know how many white people understand that, but white people, this may not turn out the way you think it's going to. And it's coming. It's coming. I've been saying it for a long time, and still I'm saying it. It's coming, and it may come here. Kenosha, Wisconsin. Thank you. Kenosha, Wisconsin is protesting right now. I'm not sure where else because my focus has been on Louisville. People I know are down there, and people I know are in danger at the moment. Before I go any farther, my laptop crapped out. I'm going to have a laptop that's dependable by tomorrow night at 9 o'clock because General Delta Django from NFAR is going to join live, just like we are right now. Only I'm going to be on a laptop and be able to see questions easier, and he is going to take some questions from some of you. So those that are I'm really looking forward to hearing from him, especially with everything that's happened. Um, this I said it in the earlier episode. Michael Vick's dogs got more justice than Breonna Taylor did, and that's just a fact. Um, Charges against one of the three officers. Now again, Dave Lackford told us. Dave Lackford said this is probably what's going to happen by the law, and I've been preaching for a week that there's a difference between what happens by the law and the fact that justice and the people are the people that are protesting are tired. They've been protesting for 120 days, and I've gotten messages from Portland, from Detroit, from Minneapolis about how after watching some of my shows, they can't believe the the patience and the fortitude of the people of Louisville, how they haven't exploded. And frankly, I can't either. And it remains peaceful. Louisville is not on fire. Louisville is not burning. People are marching in protest, and the police are basically corralling them. They started out coming from behind. Then they're on a parallel street, and now they've pretty much got them again boxed in. It looks like they've got them in two separate groups. I'm trying to keep an eye on this just in case that one shot happens, because there are 3%ers in the area, and quite frankly, there are people in the crowd that I haven't seen before, and there are some in the crowd that don't look like maybe they should belong there. I know that's being judgmental and probably even prejudiced and prejudging, but I'm just saying, and I've got a bad vibe about what happens tonight in Louisville. General Delta Django again coming onto the program tomorrow night live. I've got the technology figured out as far as apps and things like that. If my laptop will just hold up, but like I said, I'm going to have a different laptop by this time tomorrow night, so there won't be any questions. Other things that have happened in Louisville today. There's a question as if a shot was fired from a rooftop into Jefferson Square. One of the 502 live streamers, hashtag 502 live streamers that I talk about a lot, Tara Bassett. Tara's blocked me for some reason. I'm not sure why. But she was interviewing Miss Rosie, who I've talked about extensively on the program as well. Miss Rosie's kind of the unofficial queen of the Breonna Taylor Park, where the memorial's at, 6th and Jefferson, in Justice Park, Jefferson Square. All are names for the same area. Some are unofficial. But apparently there was some kind of, initially it was reported as a flashbang. And again, I have not seen the tape. I've talked to somebody that's seen the tape and said they could not confirm it came from the rooftop or that it was a gunshot. There was a gentleman there on his bicycle, and whatever the projectile was went through the tire and inner tube of the front wheel of his bicycle. And Maxwell Mitchell, live streamer I talk about a lot from Louisville, and how he's always helping people. Well, Maxwell brought the guy a brand new tire and inner tube and got him on his way, because that was his only source of transportation. So after they assumed the shot came from above, from the angle of trajectory, and they looked to the rooftop across the street, and there were indeed two men over there, and um, they blew the crowd a kiss before disappearing behind the wall. So um, I'm not going to report anything one way or the other than what I've just said, because that's all I know to be fact at the moment, and I haven't been able to contact Tara, as I said. Um, Riot Hart, one of the other 502 live streamers, hashtag 502 live streamers that we talk about, his actually it was his live stream that we ended the marathon live yesterday, and about 10 minutes after we ended the live, um, he got arrested. Um, Someone went through the files and found out that there was an outstanding bench warrant for him from 3 years ago for possession of marijuana, and they came out and basically asked. I was going to be showing this, but as I said, the laptop crashed on me at the last minute. A policeman walked up to him. He was outside the police station. He was outside the jail, actually, where they were taking protesters in that had just been arrested, and he was shouting, "Tell me what your name is for the bail fund." Um, I'm going to talk about the bail fund in Louisville in a second too. Um, and the people would shout out his name, and people from the bail fund were watching the stream as we were, and they would note the name and begin the paperwork to get the person out of jail immediately. And a police officer walked up and asked him what his first name was, and then asked him what his last name was. He said, "I'd rather not say that. I go by Riot Heart." And another officer walked up with paperwork and said, "Is your birthday blah, 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 blah?" And he said, "Yes, and there's an outstanding warrant for you. You're being arrested." And that was basically it. I don't know how many of you have ever been arrested, but a lot of people don't have any clue of what happens in the system if you get arrested. And if you get arrested for doing something, that means that you're going to be taken to jail, or sheriff's office, or constable building, whatever your area has, and you'll be fingerprinted. You'll have a mug shot, and that's the arrest part. And you'll probably be placed in what they call a holding cell, and then you'll have bail. And what bail is a way to get out of jail until your trial. And if you can't post bail, you've got to sit in jail until you have a trial. And with bail, it comes after either charges are filed once you're arrested, or charges are dropped. If they're dropped, then you're pretty much set free on your own recognizance, no problem. If you're charged with something, you will have to probably post bail to get out. Louisville has what they call a bail fund, and they started it, I'm not sure how many years ago, but they started it years ago during protests, because this is racial inequality is not a new thing in the last 3 months to Louisville. It's one of the most segregated cities in the United States. And they started a bail fund, and basically people chipped in $5, $10, $20, $50, $100 here at a time. And pretty soon it started to mound up. And then once everything kicked off at the end of May, a lot of people donated a lot of money. So it's a pretty big bail fund now. And the way it works, you post bail, and somebody posts bail for you. Most of the time it's a bail bondsman in most areas. But in Louisville, they have the Bail Project. And they post bail for all the protesters. And then when the protester goes back to court, or if you and I were arrested, we go back to court, the bail bondsman gets their money back. And if you don't show up, that's when they start tracking you down. Bounty hunters looking for that, doing it for the money solely. And that's not a judgmental. That's just facts. Then you go to court, and you're found guilty or innocent. And if you're found innocent, you're set free. If you're found guilty, you more than likely are going to be going to jail for whatever it is. And at the minimum, you're going to be paying fines. So that's kind of how the legal process works for all those that think, you get arrested and they decide your guilt or innocence right then. No. And that's one of the reasons we talk about being against police brutality, not anti-police brutality, because police shouldn't be judge, jury, and executioner all in one. They shouldn't be any of them. So that's about what I've got. Maxwell's feed is frozen up as I was talking. I wasn't paying attention. Or maybe he's dropped it. Well, all right, let me try to go to another feed. And if anybody has any questions, give me just a second and we'll do a couple of questions. Okay. I just wanted to have this set up because if something happens, something goes off, I've got a camera on the laptop I can flip around, and if something happens and something goes off, I can give you guys a quick flip around. And I don't know if you could see I don't even know what I showed you, actually. We'll get you up here close enough. Jason's got the camera down at the moment. He's not wanting to show any faces. Okay, these are protesters.
Come on, attention to high.
So as you can see, tensions are high in Louisville, and that's why I wanted to do the show from out here tonight and be able to keep track of what's going on down in Louisville as well, and give you a quick pop around if something does break off. Tensions are high. Anybody got any questions or comments of anything while we're live? Well, I got a couple of minutes. Cool. Again, General Delta Django tomorrow night, live at 9. And one other thing I wanted to talk about, mentioning Delta Django, the NFAR, the NFAC, the Angry Viking Group. The decision to not do anything to the police. 3 police officers involved in the shooting. No charges for 2 of them. Charges for 1 of them. The charges are wanton endangerment. The charges are for bullets going into the adjacent apartments, not into Breonna Taylor's apartment. There were no charges for shots fired into Breonna Taylor's apartment. Absolutely no consequence at all to any of the officers for what happened to Breonna Taylor. That's why tensions are high in Louisville and all across the country. And I said this, I've been talking about this building up to it. This decision is going to have implications. It's going to have consequences. It's going to impact things that people aren't even thinking about. And the NFAR, the NFAC, the Angry Viking group, Angry Vikings, whatever they call themselves, 3%ers, all these groups, recruitment is going to, people are going to be coming. This is going to aid in recruitment for everybody on every side. And that just puts us closer and closer to where we're at war with each other. And the thought of that honestly sickens me. But I'm not sure if there's anything that can be done to change it. I'm trying, I'm talking, but I think too many people want it. And be careful what you ask for, because sometimes you get it, and then it's not at all what you thought it was going to be. So far, everybody's staying in pretty much the same location. I'm not sure where they're at, and they've excluded traditional media from this march, and they only have two live streamers. Two of the 502 live streamers are actually streaming what is going on because they don't want anybody to know their plans, and they don't want to blast it all over Facebook. So there are only two streamers, and both of those streamers are keeping their distance so that we can't hear what they're planning to do, and doing their best not to show faces, because I have a feeling some things are going to happen tonight. Also, at 9 o'clock, a curfew went into effect. So these people are illegally assembled. This is by the law. This isn't what I'm saying, but by the law, the people are illegally assembled. They're out past curfew. And then they just mount the charges on that. Of course, they'd be evading arrest, probably resisting, as well as fleeing. And if you fight back, you're probably going to be guilty of assaulting an officer. And federal government's trying to make anything, any kind of resistance to an officer a felony, and that's freaking dangerous. My gosh, that's dangerous. And we got to vote, and it's pretty clear to me which way we have to vote. There's only two ways. Lesser two evils. Yeah, I understand. Nobody deserves your vote. I understand that. I kind of feel the same way. None of them deserve my vote, but the country does, and my fellow human beings do. And so that's why I'm going to vote the way I'm going to vote. If you are leaving, leave with somebody. Don't leave by yourself. If you don't want trouble, you need to leave now. Jason just said something he shouldn't be saying. I'm sorry. So that's about all I got for tonight. I'm going to pop off here so I can stay focused on what's happening in Louisville. Hopefully everything ends peacefully. If not, I will be hopping back on live with a setup to actually watch the stream, watch the streamers as we did yesterday. So hey, thank you all. Thank you all for watching. Delta Django tomorrow night at 9. I'm gonna, I'm gonna ask him, because of all this, is your recruitment up? I'm imagining it is. Um, I imagine it is, and I imagine that the leaders, if you will, General Delta Django of NFAR, Grandmaster J of NFAC, the Dylan Stevens. He's the Angry Viking. That's his real name. Again, is is what they're going to do in Kenosha going to be a positive thing, especially now after this decision? Their plan is the Angry Viking group is going to be in Kenosha, Wisconsin, October 3rd, and they're going to march to the spot where a 17-year-old white boy killed his second person of the night and celebrate. And I still ask the question, would they be going to Kenosha if that was a young black man with a gun? It's the American Doofus Show. Not about style, it's not about glamour, it's not about fashion, it's about telling the truth. And sometimes the truth's hard to hear. Sometimes the truth's tough to say. Sometimes truth is all you got. And we're getting to the point in the country where truth's all you got. Let's see, Browning Maxis. Moral of the story, do not shoot at police, they will shoot back. 2 police officers were shot in Louisville last night, and a 26-year-old man has been apprehended and charged with crimes, and he will undoubtedly be part of the justice system. Now that opens up a whole new can of worms, because there are 2 different justice systems, and all you have to do is look at the way people are charged or not charged for the same things. It's you can deny it, you can rationalize it, you can use statistics, but for far too long, white people and communities of color have been playing by 2 different sets of rules, and a lot of people still don't understand that. Hopefully more will, just by listening, and by the fact that we talk about such things instead of yelling at each other about such things. Again, it's the American Doofus Show. I'm your host, Barry Welsh. Anything breaks, I'll be back live. Otherwise, I'll have a little something tomorrow afternoon on what happened tonight here and around the country. And then 9 p.m. tomorrow night, Delta Django will be doing it live. Thank you all. God bless you. I love you.